So yeah, thought ya might like to go to the show. It's still a new studio. I wasn't going to say anything about it. I'm like, welcome to the new studio. But you're like, no. He's been saying that for about a week or so. We've been seeing it in the background and in the studio for a long time. It's nothing new to me. But you get a closer look. If you look, watch this. Watch this. If you take a screenshot, you get to see a picture of me naked. Right there. I'm standing there naked. There's no genitalia shown. And if you look there, you see Jesus crying back there. The Garden of Gethsemane. Right after Judas leaves him, you got all the drunk guys in the background, right over the dead people pictures, and they're all passed out, and he's going, Judas has left me. The only friend I ever had, the only one that ever understood how to talk to me about my own personal pains and woes. He's back there. You got something from China up there. Oh, there's Jesus again. That was after he was worried about losing his last good friend. I'll talk about that again one day. Truth is, I just watched my 15 May 2024 Wednesday Dove and Serpent Sagittarius reading, because that's me. And I was looking at that thing and I'm like, oh, I should probably stay quiet about this. Don't want anybody to catch on. But I couldn't help it. He pulls up right away. Wheel of Fortune. I was going to write a book about how to win at Wheel of Fortune one day. And then I just let it go because I don't ever finish anything. Yeah, I know how to do it. The Wheel of Fortune, that's a Jupiter card. And this Jupiter card, a Wheel of Fortune. Well, I was born under a birth chart. That's my God, is Jupiter. So that makes sense. Wheel of Fortune, you just get kicked off somewhere and you're going to do whatever the fuck you're going to do. And then over top of that comes the Eon card. Oh, baptism of fire. We're passing through a phase here. Something's going to happen. And you're going to have to let a lot of stuff fall behind in the process. Oh, and maybe that's, I don't know, could be why it's taken so long to happen, because I've got so much stuff over here. I can't do away with all of it. And then beneath it, right there in our person, whatever the hell you call it, there's the Eight of Wands going, how many different directions could you go? And at the top, there's the Ace of Wands. Look at this fiery fucking path of the dove. I was born of fire. Sagittarius. There's the Ace of fucking Wands. It's just fucking dead set. He knows something. And down there, and And so as Paul from Dove and Serpent Tarot starts to explain this part of it, it's all out there. I'm not going to get into all of it. He did it. If you want to watch it, I'll put it down below. You look in the description. You can find the reading. Cigarette went out. But as he's going through this thing, he's looking at it and he says, oh my gosh, you're the kind of person, you're just not going to fucking quit. There's all kinds of failure. It's just right there in your face. And you're like, nah, I'm going to move on. Everything's going to be okay. And the failure's going, no, wait, please stay with us. don't change. Once said that to somebody. I said, I'm so sorry. You changed and I didn't. That's a real thing. I mean, we're supposed to grow and change and work together, but if somebody just fucking fooled you from the start, it's a different story. I said, you're the person that's not going to stop. And it made me think of when I went to Alaska. I might actually even make a little movie so you can see this 400-pound fish that I'm sitting by. But you're not going to stop. We were going to Alaska. The one guy, my roommate at Michigan State, he had a girlfriend, and we were all there on a sober pact. None of us had had any beer at all, and that was important to me. I fucking made this decision with what we had available, and there were no inhibitions and no going back type of shit, you know. He said, we're going to Alaska. I said, I don't fucking care about going to Alaska. This is me about what he's saying about me. Paul's talking about me. He says, you're not going to stop. And it's like, well, all I need is a direction. This guy says, we're going to Alaska. We're going to fish Alaska. And we talked about it. We talked a lot about it. But the one thing that turned out to be the matter that mattered was we decided girlfriends are nothing. There's nothing keeping us from going to Alaska this summer and fishing the boats. I never had any interest in going to Alaska. I'm from Gaylord, Michigan. It seemed to me like just a wider expanse of nothing. Why? Everybody in Gaylord wants to go to Alaska. Why? Just go fucking sleep in the woods for a couple of weeks. The bears will eventually show up. So we said, doesn't matter. Girlfriend, nothing. Nothing stopping from us from going. I said, okay, I'll go. D-Day was there with the other guy, Doug. I mean, you know, how many people named Doug have you ever met that you ever liked, unless you were looking in the mirror and your name happened to be Doug? You happen to like yourself more than you like anybody else, the way I've ever seen a Doug. Sorry, Doug. But he's the one that fucking had a girlfriend. D-Day and I, no girlfriends. We said, okay, it's a pact. We're going. I said, fuck, I don't care. Got to do something this summer. I had a job, but I could do something. I was still young, you know. Willing to see the world. There's Yorn. He just set out a video. Silly Yorn videos. And so the thing is, by the time the end of the semester came, when we were coming into summer break, I got a girlfriend. D-Day got a girlfriend. We both had girlfriends at that time. And then in the bar the one night, the girlfriend that I had, who I met, and I said, I'm going to Alaska this summer, before we even started seeing each other. I make that clear, I'm leaving. And turns out he was talking to her in the bar, and she came to me and said, Doug says he's not going because of his girlfriend. I'm like, what? He hasn't said anything like that to me. And then I'm his roommate. About 2 days later, D-Day comes up to me in the hall and says, yeah, it looks like we're not going to Alaska, huh? And I said, what are you talking about? He said, well, Doug says he's not going because of his girlfriend. And then I find out that that's what she told him, and it got through D-Day, all this stuff. It all went around that way. And I said, you know what? I said, I don't care what he says. If you're not going, I don't care about that either. But I said I'm going, and I'm going, God damn it. And he was just quiet in the morning, light coming through the windows through an open door. You see, it's like a story. It's like, oh, a woman came across a snake and it was half frozen and its beautiful skin was covered in frost. And then it bit her. He had it coming. I told you what I was when you met me. Act natural. But that was the point. It supported what Paul had to say about whatever Sagittarius he was talking to in his video today. It fits. I don't care what the fuck is going to happen when we get back. I said I'm doing it. I'm fucking going. It has to be. It has to be a path forward. Otherwise, we're stuck in the mire constantly. What happens when you get stuck in the mire? The guy with a four-wheel drive in front of you has to put out his winch and pull you out, and then you have to fucking spend 2 hours fucking replacing a goddamn strut or sidearm or some shit that goes on. People are always going to fuck something up, but there's always a way out. I don't know how it's going to turn out. That's all part of the reading, too. And I'm not following the reading, I just find it interesting. It's right in line with what's going on. There are going to be plenty of people against you. Standing against you, telling you can't do it, you can't do it, you can't do it. Doug is the same one that when I left and went to California out of Michigan State, told D-Day, he said, oh yeah, he'll be back. And when D-Day told me that Doug said I'd be back, I was like, what? Where did he even get that fucking idea? Burning bridges? Well, try not to burn them until I'm over them, but bridges are always my favorite. It means there's a path forward for humanity.